Pearson, DriveRight, 11th edition, Chapter 7, Lesson 7.3, Traffic Laws Governing the Use of Alcohol. All 50 states have become uniform in requiring a person to be 21 years of age to purchase or consume alcoholic beverages. In an effort to further reduce alcohol-related collisions and fatalities, all states have set illegal per se laws establishing BAC levels of 0.08 or greater. Illegal per se laws are state laws that make it a criminal offense to operate a motor vehicle at or above a specified alcohol concentration in either the blood, breath, or urine, or with any amount of drug, usually a controlled illegal substance, in the body. Alcohol-related vehicle crashes dropped among teenagers after states raised the legal drinking age to 21. Young drivers are less likely than an adult to drive after drinking. However, the risk of collision is substantially higher when teenagers drive after drinking. Traffic laws and alcohol. Every state has an implied consent law for drivers. Implied consent means that anyone who operates a motor vehicle automatically consents to be tested for BAC and other drugs if stopped for suspicion of drug use while driving. If the driver does not cooperate with the police officers and refuses to be tested for BAC, the driver's license can be suspended. Some states have a zero tolerance law, which means that if you are a driver under 21 years of age and you have a BAC greater than 0.02, depending on the laws in your state, you are guilty of breaking the law. Some states have also adopted a policy of zero tolerance means zero chances, which means drivers under the age of 21 receive harsh penalties for even their first offense. A person who serves alcoholic beverages to an intoxicated individual may be liable for the damages caused by that individual. This is an example of the dram shop law. In some states, a person who serves the alcohol may also be liable for injuries sustained by the intoxicated individual. Parents or any adult who decide to host parties and knowingly provide alcohol to individuals under the age of 21 can be sanctioned under their state's dram shop laws. Levels of impairment. Because research has demonstrated that the vast majority of drivers who have been drinking are significantly impaired at 0.08%, the federal government encouraged states to adopt a uniform level of 0.08 BAC, and states complied. All states have set a BAC level of 0.08 BAC at which drivers can be charged with driving while intoxicated, or DWI, or in some states, driving while impaired, DWI. Some states may use different terminology to describe drivers who are convicted of operating a vehicle above the legal limit. Some might use driving while intoxicated or impaired. Others may use driving under the influence, DUI, or operating while impaired or intoxicated, OWI. Tests for impairment. Law enforcement agencies place a high priority on enforcing DWI and DUI laws. Several tests, which can be administered in a police station or on the roadside, can be used to evaluate persons suspected of DWI or DUI. Chemical testing. Chemical analysis of blood, urine, or breath can accurately determine BAC. The breath test is widely used in simple analysis. The breath test machine, most commonly used for determining BAC, is an intoxilizer. The person breathes into the intoxilizer tube that determines the BAC. The results of the test are then displayed on both the intoxilizer screen and the paper printout. A field sobriety test. Law officers in many states can give a field sobriety test when they suspect the driver of DWI or DUI. A field sobriety test includes a series of on-the-spot roadside tests, such as coordination and eye checks that help a police officer detect driver impairment. One eye check test is the horizontal gaze nystagmus test, which refers to the involuntary jerking of the eyes as the person gazes to the side. Most people show some nystagmus as their eyes track from straight ahead to the side. The test determines the point where the jerking begins. As a person's BAC level increases, the jerking begins at an earlier point. Trained officers can accurately estimate the person's BAC to within 0.02% of chemical test readings. Other field sobriety tests can determine both physical and mental impairment. A person's balance, coordination, the ability to follow simple instructions, and the ability to perform two tasks at once may be tested. The inability to perform two tasks at once is called divided attention impairment. A simple divided attention test might require the driver to walk heel to toe a certain number of steps while at the same time giving an oral count of the number of steps taken. Penalties for conviction. The penalties for conviction of driving while intoxicated and driving under the influence involve one or more of the following: suspension or revocation of driver's license, payment of a fine, serving a prison term, community service. The most common penalty is suspension of the driver's license for a specified amount of time. Penalties are most severe if the intoxicated driver is involved in a collision. If a fatality results from the collision, the driver could be found guilty of manslaughter and even murder. Drivers who are convicted of a second DWI or DUI offense usually receive much harsher penalties than for the first conviction. Licenses can be revoked for as long as 3 years. Prison sentences can be longer and fines can be higher. If you are stopped by a police officer, when a driver sees the flashing lights of a police vehicle in the rearview mirror, it is usually a signal to pull over and stop. If you see such a signal, slow your vehicle until you are sure the officer is signaling you. Pull over to the right and stop in a safe place. You might need to pull into a parking lot or a side street out of the way of traffic. Keep your hands visible as the officer approaches. Stay in your vehicle and follow the instructions the officer gives you. You will be required to show your driver's license, and in states with mandatory insurance laws, you will need to show your certificate of insurance.